I see you're muted.
There we go.
Oh, good.
There we go.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Hi, Susan.
Hi, Linda.
How are you doing?
Well, I've had a crazy day, but it was such a beautiful afternoon. I took a walk up to to the library and got a book.
Oh, good.
How about you?
I've had a busy day. Yeah, I didn't actually get out for a walk because well, anyway, just
Were you busy in the house, around the
I,
place?
well, I had a number of errands to do this morning. So I, well, we're recording, but anyway, I washed my hair. This afternoon, so I wanted it to be dry by the meeting. So I didn't go outside because my
Uh-huh.
hair was wet.
I have to say, I know we're being recorded, but it looks lovely.
Thank you.
I could pause the recording and then start it.
Well, it's always that remembering to start
I
it again.
know. I know, but there are two of us. Do you want me to pause it?
Well, we've only got 2 minutes before.
Whoops, and
Well,
here's
not a big deal.
Janice.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So it has been a lovely day, though.
Oh my
At
goodness.
least the afternoon was,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. It was quite windy this morning.
It was. Yeah, it was. I decided I wouldn't take my coffee onto the porch because it was really quite chilly out there.
It was. Yeah. Yeah. Hi, Janice.
Are you okay today, Janice? Oh,
Oh,
you're muted.
I'm okay. I'm actually doing pretty well. I'm just very tired and frazzled and in a rush as usual.
Wednesday's not a good day for you, is it?
No, but it's going to get better. Just briefly, since we haven't officially, or are we? Have we started?
no, no,
Well,
because
Well,
no.
so I, as some of you know, well, you know bits and pieces of this. I am off of Taxol, the drug that made me bald, as of January 25th was my last session. I met with my oncologist today. I'm going to have my cataract surgery on April 17th for one eye and May 1st for the other. And she said, okay, I get one drug every 3 weeks, which I got today. She said, let's just give you a break and not do any more of don't go on to something new to replace the Taxol until after your surgery.
Oh, good.
So I'm not going to be going there every Wednesday. It's going to get my immune system in good shape for the surgery. And what she said about the drug that I'm likely to go on, it'll be in pill form. I can take it at home.
Ooh.
I'll still be getting the once every 3 weeks thing, which doesn't bother me particularly because it's just a drive back and forth. And she said, no promises, but you might get your hair back.
Whoa. Well, you were hoping that when you went off the Taxol, right?
Yeah, and in fact, you can't see it, but I have little fuzzy,
Little
tiny blue
fuzz?
hairs, and I have little tiny white eyelashes.
Oh,
So maybe they'll get longer and darker, or if they don't get longer, darker, at least I can put mascara on something.
sure.
So I'm pleased by this, but I'm tired. It's been a long haul the last month or so
yeah.
between the eye thing and the
Hang on a second. I
cancer.
have to admit somebody. Yeah.
Okay, that's enough for me.
Nope. Uh, do we have a guest today?
No, I bet that's Martha.
Oh, okay. Martha's on Frank's. Okay.
We'll see, but that's my guess.
I think you're absolutely right. That there she is.
Hi all, how are you?
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, Martha.
You got my email about Sally having broken her wrist,
I
right?
did. I heard it from
Oh, Christine.
yeah.
Yeah.
Made her some chili, but then I ran into Jane and Jane said she'd taken her soup. So I don't know. I'll give her a buzz and tell her she's got food waiting. How's she doing?
I don't know. I haven't really talked with her for a day.
Oh, that's too bad. Spring's coming. I went to the bulb show at Smith.
Ooh,
Oh,
If they have evening hours until 8 o'clock on Friday and Saturday of this week.
wow. Oh, sorry. I'm saying sorry because I'm missing the people that need to be admitted.
Oh,
And here comes Mary Ann.
I bet that's Jeanette.
Oh, right.
Oh, that explains it. All these people
yeah.
that come in under other people's names confuse me no end.
My iPad wasn't charged enough.
Linda, do you want me to make you co-host?
Sure.
Okie doke.
We'll just wait another minute or two to see if Joanne comes. If it's okay with everybody,
Oh,
or
right. She did say she had an appointment.
yes, she had an appointment today and wasn't sure if she would be back in time to join us. So, so we'll wait once Jeanette gets organized.
Okay, and Tracy is coming and I'm admitting her.
Okay.
She wants to be here for the transportation discussion.
Okay. Which, yeah. Yeah. So, hi, Tracy.
Jeanette, are you planning to start your video?
There she is.
Aha.
Now it's her. They have a new computer. That may be the issue.
There she is.
Okay. So I think we'll go ahead and I'll call the meeting to order at 5:33.
Hang on a second. The secretary is missing her pad of paper. Oh, here it
Okay.
is. I forgot I had to be secretary tonight. Okay, I'm with us.
Okay, so I'll call the meeting to order at 5:34 p.m. And if we just want to go around and say who's here, and since Jeanette and Tracy just came on, Joanne isn't here yet. She may come later. She had an appointment today and wasn't sure if she'd be back in time. So anyway, Linda Scott,
Martha Fowler.
Janice Gray.
Oh, Susan Millinger.
Tracy McNaughton.
Jeanette is here, right?
She is. No audio.
no audio.
Okay.
She's got it now. Or did for a second.
Oh, wait a second. We're getting Mary Lou Conca?
Okay. Okay, so the first order of business is to consider the minutes from February 8th, 2023. And I want to thank Susan Millinger for taking minutes tonight and for compiling the minutes from our last meeting. So perhaps I could entertain a motion to consider the minutes, please.
Gray here. I move that we accept the minutes as presented.
Is there a second?
Here,
Martha.
We couldn't quite hear you.
I said I second the motion to accept the minutes.
Okay, so we have a motion has been made and seconded to approve the minutes of the 8th of February as presented. Any other discussion? Okay, none heard. Let's have a roll call vote.
Barbara, I.
Gray, I.
Millinger, aye.
Scott, aye.
Stockton, I think she just said aye.
Can't hear you, Jeanette.
Stockton, I.
Thank you. Thank you. I just would like to welcome Mary Lou Conca to our meeting.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ah, there she is.
Okay, so the next item on the agenda is our financial update. So I I needed to check with our town accountant, Gail Weiss, on something. And so she sent along a statement on our grant account. So I have a more accurate, well, I have an accurate financial, a balance, I want to say, sort of like a balanced checkbook, like, when you balance your checkbook, you get the number. So I've got that number from Gail. And so this actual, okay. So first I want to say that this number that I'm going to give you, $4,564.43, includes the cost of our Gazette, which came in much less than anticipated. The cost for our most recent issue was $241.93. So we had allocated $550.
May I ask a question?
Yes, sure.
Great. This is great. Do you know why it was so much less?
I actually don't.
That's right, because you're not.
I actually don't.
You are. You are.
We would. This is what prompted me to contact Gail, because I would have anticipated that Adams would send the invoice to the COA email, and it didn't come. And so I thought, So I wrote to Ken and Terry Adams to check, and Terry said, "Oh, the invoice has already been paid." And I thought, "Oh, I don't know how that happened." So I contacted Gail, and we don't know exactly who submitted it for payment. However, she was able to provide the amounts. So, yeah, there you go. So that, then we had the February foot care was $215, leaving us then a balance of $4,349.93.
349
Yes.
and 43.
93.
90. Oh, yeah. Okay. Now we're going to be dealing with another odds and ends of Sam.
Wait a minute. No, that's 40. It's 43. Yeah, I'm so sorry. It's 43. Yeah, 43.
Okay.
And then, then we subtract the $1,000 that we have allocated for third quarter fitness classes, and $730 allocated for the remaining foot care expenses for the rest of the fiscal year. This now leaves us with a final unallocated balance of $2,619.43. So we have just over $2,600 unallocated for the rest of the fiscal year. And do you have any questions on that? Jeanette? You have to turn your...
We live in one big room, so you want it off. Janice, you create the Gazette voluntarily. Is that correct?
Yes.
That's so nice. Thank you so much. That's not always the case.
I do the Our Town as a volunteer as well.
Wow, impressive. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. Yes. Okay, so our main topic tonight is, is transportation. And unfortunately, we don't have Joanne. However, because she's our representative to the Life Path Transportation Committee. However, Joanne did send along a summation of what that committee is looking at. So we have her report, and I hope everybody's had a chance to see that. And then we have the follow up from last meeting when Becky Torres, our town administrator, was present, and subsequently, so we have two action items as a result of our meeting with Becky. One is to collect some data on our MedRide program, which hasn't been active, as you know, throughout the pandemic. However, Joanne and I next Wednesday, Joanne and I will go in town hall, and we will collate our data, collate the MedRide data that we have. So we will do that. So we'll have our statistics about destination, how many rides, and the destinations that people needed to go. And then the second action item that we have is implementing a survey, asking people where they go or need to go for their medical appointments, primarily medical appointments, but also their errands. So those are our two action items. The one piece of information that's come forward, and I can't say that we have confirmation of this, but it seems that there's been some information that we can have both PVTA and FRTA. And Jeanette, do you know anything more about that?
I think that's possibly true.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, that's basically where we are. It's possibly true.
And while I have my mic on and you're talking to me, within that questionnaire, will there be a place for people to say how they're getting rides now?
That's a great piece to add. Yeah. I'm writing myself a note.
Because one might question, and I don't know what the data looks like and when it started and ended, but the fact that there may not be a lot of data right now is because A, it hasn't been publicized, B, we've been in a worldwide pandemic where people are barely going anywhere. So there could be some skewing.
Yes. So all of our data, as I said, will be prior to the pandemic.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So
more of a mean.
It will actually, because for that particular reason. And I don't know if Village Neighbors will have any town specific data.
Right now, certain people on Village Neighbors are looking for data. Mm-hmm. And that's all I'm going to say to that. Yeah,
that's fine. I was just curious about that, because that was just curious. So that's what I have right now. It's Susan.
I have a couple of questions. Is this an appropriate time to ask
Yes,
them?
yes, this is our
Okay.
discussion. Yeah.
Okay, so as part of our business tonight to start working on a survey?
Well, we can spend some time talking about the survey. We've already, yes, I mean, we've already, Jeanette already offered, because we were thinking that it would be a very simple survey, asking people, where they go. And then now Jeanette, adding, how do you get there now? Is, so yeah, but yeah, this is the topic. Yeah.
Okay, so I have a couple of questions. One of my other questions is, are we asking everybody in town, or is this specifically focused on seniors and otherly abled who would need,
So I understand that our survey would be to our population, which is 55 and older, and anyone else who would need assistance with transportation. So my sense is that the survey Janice suggested at the last meeting that our survey could potentially go out as part of the spring Our Town. So it would go to everybody.
And Tracy has maybe the same question I have. But she
Okay.
had her hand up first.
Yep, go ahead. Go ahead, Tracy.
Tracy, you're muted.
I was going to say
thanks.
finish if I don't know how oh, that's right. This thing raises your hand if you just raise it. So I was just looking on the town website because I knew that there was an ADA committee, which looks like it's kind of come apart a bit because I can see that Becky's running it now and she's the only person. So she probably had to, she probably has to do that because we have to have one. So maybe I'll volunteer for that. Because I remember in the past, I think it was Walter Tippett's mother who was the head of it, if I recall correctly, and there were some other members. So, and it does have on here that one of the member vacancies is a Council on Aging representative. So they're clearly seeing this as a committee that would overlap or have some things that overlap. I spoke to a former client of mine who lives in town. She is 25. She aged out of Amherst High School at 22, which is the way things generally work for folks with intellectual disabilities. They stay on at the high school through the age of 22, and they learn transition skills. And one of the main skills that they learn is how to use the ADA transportation, which they can clearly get in Amherst, but for those students who live in Shutesbury, they don't get to actually use it from home. So it's kind of a disappointment to them when they age out and then they can't use it anymore. So the main things that generally the use would be social activities, meeting up with friends in town, shopping, and going to work. And this young woman so I spoke to she and her dad, although she's very, capable of having full conversation without her dad, but I knew her dad would be excited. I spoke to her about either, the potential of being able to be on the committee or consulting with a committee, because she would have information on other people in town, also contacts at the high school that I think would be helpful, because there would be present and former students that somebody who she knows at the high school would be able to connect us to. So
thank you, Tracy. So you're thinking this would be relevant to the ADA committee? The
ADA committee specifically,
yes,
right?
Yes.
I don't think, and I guess this is a question for Jeanette, because this has been posed to me that Village Neighbors might provide rides for folks with disabilities, but not if they're. I didn't think that was probably accurate if they're under the age of, because Village Neighbors is just pretty much for folks that are over 60.
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
And I'm a little trepidatious to answer this question. One of our members one of our somebody on our board has proposed the idea of a shared van, which did not go over very well out there in the community, or whoever is making these decisions, rightly so, probably. So that might have been where that came in.
Maybe.
I just don't know.
Yeah, and I really think that the most appropriate, and the people who are for folks with developmental disabilities, I think, because the van drivers are trained to work with folks with developmental disabilities. The two folks that I know in town don't have a physical disability, so the vans do come equipped with for wheelchair access, but that doesn't mean that there aren't others that would, and that's where this contact at Amherst High School would be helpful. And I can give her name because she told me I could. Garnet Davis. I don't know if any of you know her. Garnet, she's very extroverted. Would be comfortable talking to the committee. Although, I did tell her that I would be there if she wanted me, just as a little bit of a support, if she needed it. And she has made a decision about that, because I told her I needed to talk to you all first about it. So anyway, but I think that she would be, at least to have come to one of the meetings, to ask her questions of her that the committee might have, because Becky did say that it is kind of a numbers game. So the more people we can get in town who may use the service, the better. Because the beautiful thing about it too is that some of these they're friends with each other, but they kind of got separated once high school was over. And the idea of being able to have the van come to town, pick them all up and bring them to Applebee's, it just would be so life-changing, huge, huge. Because they'll never drive. They're not going to ever be able to transport themselves.
Yeah.
So
thank you, Tracy. I just want to say, for us as a council, our statute is for people 55 and older.
Right, but I think it needs to be a collaborative effort with the ADA.
Right, I hear you. So I hear you. So that's why I'm saying that the ADA committee would, as you noted, it's not an active committee.
It's not. I thought that's what was being formed last meeting, that there was.
Oh, maybe you mean our meeting?
Yeah, I just remember there was talk about having a committee, and I thought Jeanette and Joanne were the people.
They were talking about they were working with Becky on transportation. That's what they were volunteering to do, was to work directly with Becky on meeting with representatives of PBTA and FRTA.
Right.
So, but what I'm suggesting is that perhaps you would reach out to Becky directly about the ADA committee, because it can use members, and that would be potentially a place to direct the needs of a population that we can't. Village Neighbors and the COA, we can help people with disabilities within our age crate. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I just think, yes, I get that. I get what you're saying, but it sounds to me like this has to be something that's a collaborative effort between.
Right. Yes, I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'm saying that in terms of how to bring in the folks that you're concerned about and have needs, that has to come in through another way.
Okay. Yep. So I'll talk to Becky, and then that can be, I'll be the
squeaky wheel.
Huh?
The squeaky wheel.
Yes.
I'll be the squeaky wheel.
Yes, that would be great. And then, as well as if the survey goes out in our town, then that means that we also would need to ask age in our survey. too.
Right.
So
So
that
so the survey is going to go out through our town, not the Gazette.
well, we haven't decided that, but
Okay.
that's a suggestion.
Mm.
And so
Otherwise, you won't grab the people who are outside of the age bracket with disabilities. So
I want to just, Mary Lou has had her hand up for a while. So Janice, I want
Oh, I can't see Mary Lou's hand. I'm sorry.
to, yeah, okay. Mary Lou?
Thank you. Thank you. So this is mostly directed at what Tracy was just discussing. I would be more than happy. I have extensive experience working with special needs students, and I would be more than happy to put in a plug, you know, with Becky, because I think, you know, it's important for everybody who lives here to be represented, you know, with the same consideration. And I think this would be, hopefully, after the money part is looked at, of course, you know, because having a vehicle and then a trained driver. As a matter of fact, I used to be a van monitor and a school bus monitor. After all that is juggled, I don't see it not happening. I think it would be such a great thing. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary Lou.
Yeah, I'm going to write to Becky with.
Yeah. So
I don't. Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. I just want to, by way of explaining, at this point, we're not talking about having our own van.
Right.
We're talking about relationships with PVTA
Right.
and FRTA. Okay.
Okay.
I just want to be sure. Yeah. So thank you so much. I'm so glad you came. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. May I finish with Tracy though? Maybe she and I can connect and I can do something that would be helpful. Sorry, you're on mute.
yes,
Tracy.
sorry.
Oh.
Yes, sure.
Okay. Okay. So how do I find you?
Well, I guess what we can do is share. Were you on the email chain to receive the connection to this meeting?
No, I found it through the town.
Do you all mind if I give her my email address over the meeting right now?
That's up to you.
Okay.
That's up to you.
All right.
Okay, let me get my pen.
All right.
Sorry, I have paper here. I'll just get a pen.
Oh, maybe I can. No, I can do an individual message, right? Isn't there a
You
way
can
to
chat to her. Yeah.
We can chat.
Oh, I don't see chat as a choice.
Yeah. Actually,
no,
we
it
don't
doesn't
use
seem to be
chat.
a
We don't
choice.
use chat in a
Yeah, I thought so.
meeting.
I found my pen.
You're good? You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. It's Fresh Air Tracy, FRESHAIRTRACY @gmail.com.
Very good. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
Marilyn.
You're welcome.
Thank you both. Jeanette?
I was just going to say, however we want to say it, whether it's the van, whether it's public transportation that should be afforded to us, what we're giving people is access, what we're giving people is agency. And it was interesting that you described, Tracy, you know, the disappointment that the woman you worked with, the young woman you worked with, but it only remains a disappointment if you don't share it and if you don't do something about it. And that's the beauty of this thing. We're collaborating and we are going to make it happen. Even though it's taking a while, it's going to happen. And yay us.
Yes.
Yay.
Yes. Perseverance. And yes, and it is, thank you, Jeanette. Susan.
I have a quick question. LifePath covers the disabled as well as the elderly, yes? So LifePath transportation, so the out of county transportation that we get, that's FERTA, isn't it?
Yes, that's on demand out of county through their MedRide volunteer driver program.
So would that be available for the disabled in our community?
I don't know, but the information about it is on our webpage as well as on FERTA's webpage.
Okay. But that, and I think of that as kind of a life path related program. I don't know if that is, but, or they just advertise it to us.
Yeah, Life Path, I don't know, but I do know we, like I said, we have, we know that people can use the out of county MedRide volunteer driver program through FRTA. And so Janice?
And I just want to add, before I get into what I was going to say earlier, I believe, based on my memory, which isn't perfect, that the out of county is for medical appointments. It's not to go to Applebee's, even though it's out of county. What I was going, when I suggested that the survey could go into the R Town, part of it was because we didn't think we could afford another Gazette.
Mhm.
But we could potentially do both, because, as you know, it could go in both publications if it's short enough. But the other thing that concerned me, and I do know Garnet, or I used to, she doesn't know me anymore, but her sister and my daughter were friends for a long time, is that when we were talking at the last meeting about how people with disabilities who are not seniors need some kind of transportation too. I was not picturing high schoolers, but people, who are in their 40s or 50s or something like that. And I was concerned about how, we have a mailing list of people who are 55 and up, but how would I don't know how we would access unless they did look at the R Town, people of any kind of disability of any age. And that was a concern of mine that I was going to bring up. And then this ADA committee that is kind of not functioning, but might be, got mentioned. But anyway, this has been a concern of mine. How do we find these folks without violating privacy?
Right. So if that would be the beauty of sending the survey out through our town,
right.
as well as possibly having some sort of electronic way to do it. And, we can also use Town Announce to call people's attention to the survey's presence in our town.
Because someone, I can't remember if it was Tracy or Jeanette, was saying that she knew some people personally and would make phone calls. And I can't remember which one of you it was, and I'm sorry. Anyway, that's been on my mind. That's all.
Yeah, thank you. Jeanette?
You're muted.
I was just thinking that perhaps the library could also be a source of stuff going out there.
Yep.
And we could put it in Village Neighbors as well, certainly for Shutesbury people. They could respond to.
And it could go in the Road Town News, because family members might know somebody, even if they aren't at the elementary school. I don't know. Just a thought.
Yep.
More of this collaborative effort.
Right.
So we're talking about the survey that we're in the process of composing, I guess, that is directed for our population of 55 plus.
Well, no, actually what we're noticing is that if we send it out to the entire town, and we ask an age question, then we potentially would receive responses from other people who need transportation, which would, it would be outside our demographic. However, it would also provide more data about the need for transportation in town. I think that's, what it's a COA survey, but it's going to reach a broader audience so that it will help drive data about need for service. I think.
So it really would help if the ADA committee would get active and we could be doing this cooperatively.
Right.
But
I'm going to jump on that right away.
And what I was just thinking as Linda was speaking, it was, we don't have to say this is a Council on Aging survey.
Right.
It could just say this is a survey brought to you by the Council on Aging, the ADA, since Becky's on it, the Spear Library, who knows what else. I mean, it doesn't have to be from one entity.
Right.
Right.
One of the things that happened with the Life Path survey is that people below our age kind of answered lots and lots of questions. I think they were able to isolate age and see that skewing, but this could almost be a follow-up to that. Wow, there was a lot of interest in the transportation, which incidentally there was.
Right.
And now we're reaching out there into the community and seeing what we're all looking for, what we need, etc.
Thank you. Well put. That's exactly how this is coming. You know, the age-friendly survey did really help emphasize the need for transportation. So it seems like maybe we are at a place where Tracy.
Just one more thing. So
Sure.
what I'm thinking might make the most sense is for me to speak with Garnet about Garnet joining the ADA committee. That would probably be the most appropriate place, along with me. And I think that I think reaching out to the school, the elementary school makes sense, like Janice was saying, but also, you know, we are a regional system and with Amherst. And so I think it would be a good idea to send it along to the Amherst, whether it be the superintendent's office or, I mean, I can get specific names as well. I can get one that comes to mind who works at the high school, works with the transition students is Crystal Cartwright, but she's working with 9th grade up to 22. And then there's somebody at the middle school, there's somebody at the elementary. So, elementary isn't, that important because they're too young. They have to be, I think, to use the ADA van, you may have to be 18 to go unaccompanied, but I'll find that out.
Thank you.
Okay.
Martha?
Another thought I had in terms of maybe reaching some of the younger population too is, would we be able to put some sort of a note in, Shutesbury, next door Shutesbury, and that with a, directions as to how they can access the survey. I mean, we don't have electronic links, but, refer them prior to the newspaper coming out, our town, just links in terms of remember to fill out the survey. We need people to.
Yeah, so I will speak to that. Martha, we as a town committee do not use Nextdoor Shutesbury. It is a for-profit operation. So we use the town announce system. And there are some folks in town who are activists on this front. So they take items that are posted as town announces, and they post them then on Nextdoor. So it does, things get around, but we as directly as a committee cannot use Nextdoor. It's a select board policy.
Okay, thanks. Good to know.
No, you're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah. And just as a note, our town does go to every household in Shutesbury. So goes to everybody. So, the idea is that if our survey is in there, is really going to be driving people to actually, read the Our Town. So, yeah. So I'm wondering if now it might be helpful if there were a couple of people who wanted to work on a survey, just to if we want to go that way, so that at our next meeting there's a draft survey to look at and work on together. That's something that I think Joanne and I would do, but if there's somebody else that would like to work on that, it has, would need to be a member of the committee. Tracy, sorry. But just thinking about that.
Well, God help me. Since I'm not going to be having chemotherapy every Wednesday, for a while, I could at least be part of that. I don't want to write the whole survey, but I'd be happy to be whatever that group is called.
Jeanette?
Martha's got her hand up too.
Oh, Martha, sorry.
Yeah, and I'd be happy to weigh in and make suggestions and whatever you need.
And Martha?
I'd be happy to work on the survey.
Okay, so what we traditionally would do is we would say that that would be just sort of just a couple people that would get together and work on the survey, and then present a draft to the next meeting, and then we would all be they'd send it out to us before the meeting, and then we would all have a chance to look at it and weigh in during the next meeting. So I really have a brainstorm about what they've presented to us as a draft. So it's usually just two people. So that way it's just working on a project together, not making any decisions, just creating a draft. So, so it's looking like, based on your, Jeanette, that with Martha and Janice. Would you two, you good?
Are you and Joanne gonna also do it or not?
No. Joanne and I will work on the data.
Okay, because
that's that piece. We have that piece, and so we don't need to take on the survey. But I was just saying we would do it if no one else. I would volunteer.
Okay. Suddenly it looks like the whole committee was going to be on the survey.
Is that okay, Janice?
Yeah, I just want to caution that whatever the survey is, it needs to be short.
Right. I think that's what we've got. We've got down, where do you go, for your medical appointments, and where do you go for your errands?
And how do you go? And how old are you? So we have 4 questions.
How do you get there now?
Yeah.
And your age.
Okay, just because our town is limited into how many pages it can be.
Right.
And do you want to ask, how would you like to? Would you like public transportation? Do you want to ask that?
I think the question is, because we say public transportation, that gets confusing.
Yes.
So what we're asking is, do you, something simple like, do you need assistance with transport? Do you have unmet need? I don't know how to say
all I mean is there needs to be a question that asks people if they do want something.
If they have a need for. Yes. Yep.
But I agree, be careful about the phrase public transportation.
Right.
Public transportation, I'm sorry I used that phrase.
No, it's okay.
It's okay. Yeah. So yes, so just like very simple, and with a, and you don't have to do this part, but we're like Jeanette said, some and Tracy, some and others, that some sort of introductory statement about the age-friendly survey, pointing out the need for transportation, and that this is a survey, it's a collaborative survey, and because it's the select board is asking us for it, so it is the select board and it is the Council on Aging, and we don't know about the ADA committee at this point, but that could be added on. That could be added to if we get, because it's true. So
I just feel a little responsible, and I was offering simply because a lot of this came about because VN stuck their nose in, and in a way that we were going to originally help pay or whatever, and it's the can of worms, and so that's all.
thank you, Jeanette. I mean, it's all, it's everybody coming together, and so all the work that's being done by Village Neighbors is helping us, and it's helped to move this forward and bring it, more front and center. And so it's, it's really good that we're all working together. And yeah.
And I do need to leave the meeting.
Okay.
But thank you all. And
Oh, thank you, Tracy, so much for coming. Thank you.
I'll send an email once I get on the ADA committee.
Okay. All right. Yes. Keep us posted. And yeah, thank you so much. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, so are we ready to talk about something else? Jeanette? Oh.
I'm talking too much, so going in and out. I just wanted to share that Village Neighbors will be having an event in May, and I don't know if it's the COA is invited to it, so I just wanted everyone to get it on their calendars. May 21st from 1 to 3. That's all I have to say.
Okay, thank you. Thanks. So we have programming on our agenda, and that is about possibly having some sort of virtual event with Life Path representatives. Potentially other topics have been suggested that would so that we could have members of the community come and learn more about what resources are available, and if we want to talk about that now or carry it over, I'm open to what folks are thinking.
I think I would rather, this Millinger, I would rather carry it over. I think that we've sort of have been focused on other things lately.
Other folks okay with that? Okay, all right, looks based on our nodding heads, it looks like we're good with carrying it over. Okay, so the last item on the agenda is current legislation, which is an item that Susan Millinger asked to have on the agenda so that she could tell us.
Yes, and I regret to say that I've been really busy doing other things, and I have not pursued what I needed to pursue to get more information about it.
All right, so thank you, Susan. We'll carry it over then.
Thank you.
Yep. So one piece that we talked about last time, and this is just maybe unanticipated because it just occurred to me, that was just about SNAP benefits, and that it looks like the governor is going to hopefully be successful in providing some additional benefits to folks. It won't be up to the full federal amount that folks were receiving during the pandemic, but there will be some additional benefit. And the other piece of information is that in the governor's proposed budget is an increase from $12 per senior to $14 per senior for our Executive Office of Elder Affairs formula grants. So stay tuned. There's MCOA is doing a lot of advocacy on that front to increase the amount per seniors. Jeanette?
What were those initials you just said at the very end?
MCOA, Mass Council on Aging.
Thank you.
Welcome. So our next meeting is April 12th. And so we'll have our usual items. We'll have the transportation. We'll have a data report and a draft survey. And we'll carry over programming and current legislation. Okay, anything else, folks? I just want to thank everybody for all of the really great conversation about transportation, and thank Martha and Janice for being willing to put together a draft survey, and just, thank you very much. And we'll be able to take it further during our next meeting. So if we're good, we could have a motion to adjourn at 6:22.
Wow.
Barbara makes a motion to adjourn the meeting at 6:22.
Second.
Okay. All right. So motion's made and seconded. Let's have a roll call vote.
Barbara, aye.
Gray, aye.
Newlinger, aye.
Scott, aye.
Stockton, aye.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much. And have a good month, and we'll, see you in April, or, okay. Thank you, Mary Lou, for coming.
And to all a good night.
Yes. Bye.
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 Thanks.